ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ 'ਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਰਟੀਫਾਈਡ ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਸ਼ਨ ਪਲੈਨਰ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਕਿ ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਸਦੇ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੈ, ਅਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਡਾਈਟਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਬਦੀਲੀ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਚ ਸਕਨੇ ਹਾਂ। ਵੈਲ, ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ ਅਤੇ ਡਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ ਨਾਲ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ।
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Anxiety is a basic, I would say, ingredient of life basically today. If you have no anxiety, I think you won't succeed. But when it goes to stress and then stress to depression, that's the point, when you should be afraid of and you should be challenged. Basically, how do you describe anxiety, and from your perspective as a certified nutritional planner, how do you see it and what needs to be done on this issue?
Great question, because you're right. Anxiety, depression, a lot of different malfunctions and nervous breakdowns, they can be justified, they can be termed differently. They can be, a lot of times we get diagnosis for regular activities. Like anxiety is common to all of us.
Right.
I think each one of us, if we live on this planet Earth, if we have, had any kind of stress in our life, we are all subjected to anxiety. At least once in a lifetime, we will all experience what it feels like.
Right.
And that could be due to stress at home, due to stress at work. It could be to, different events can happen.
Right.
So different people respond to stress differently, and anxiety can take a different toll on them. It could be experienced as a way of heart palpitation, inability to properly breathe,
Right.
having muscle spasms and achiness, having all of this different, just disturbances in the body. And I think people could see and almost remember a time in their life while they had that experience.
Right.
So what it does, it definitely consumes a lot, and it's very, very draining on the body. When you're under stress, and as you said, a lot of stress can deliver. Let's say if we're constantly stressed at work and we had a really, really stressful week, and then there's a deadline of some sort, and the person can actually break down or have an anxiety attack.
Right.
And that this is where it's kind of like it could be leading up to it, or it could just happen automatically because, let's say, somebody passed away,
Right.
somebody was diagnosed with something. There's all these different reasons. Somebody's going through divorce, through a fight. Things happen.
Right.
So that mental state is very hard to first of all acknowledge at the time of it happening, to stop and breathe and deal with it and understand what's going on. It just happens, and we roll with the punches.
Right.
So one of the best way to of course to deal with it or prevent it is always make sure that we have a balanced lifestyle.
Okay.
So that we understand, is that stress at work, that constant stress that's constantly debilitating my function, is it worth it?
So what should be done? People who live in this state, like what kind of food should they avoid? What would be your recommendations that they should avoid these things so that it doesn't give an impetus for further stress?
No, really good question, because a lot of the times we see people that have any kind of mental diagnoses, they usually have some kind of sensitivities to food as well.
Right.
Because what people don't understand is a lot of the times, a lot of different intolerances and sensitivities to a particular food, that is a stress on the body.
Right.
That is a stress that we don't understand, but it happens. And so when that stress taking place, and if we're eating something we're not supposed to 3 times a day, that stress is depleting us. That will deplete our brain. We're not going to be able to properly manage it, and it's going to deplete our neurological systems. And you have a lot of you have a lot of neurons in the digestive system and in the brain. That's going to deplete our neurological system, and we are going to see stress come out in all other different ways, where we won't be able to cope with day-to-day routine. When people can't quietly and normally drive, everybody sets them off.
Right.
Where little work stress creates a big problem. Where little misbehavior from their children and they snap. It's when you lack of sleep, it's when you have lack of high quality nutrients in the body, is when you have exhaustion.
Okay. So again, as you said, specifically if you can point out some of the things, like for example, of course, if you are not having good digestion, you shouldn't go in for processed foods. You should make more at home green vegetables, fruits, and superfoods also.
Yeah.
You can incorporate that. But along with that, Antonina, what happens is that because you're passing through that phase, your brain is not getting that kind of oxygen, what you are saying.
Yeah.
So at that particular moment, any special recommendation what you have for them?
Yeah, so there's definitely that acute response and when it just happened and you're in the shock. And that, of course, if you can, for a second, just remind yourself to breathe deeply.
Okay.
If you can, maybe trying to get your stress onto something else. Maybe, let's say if you're driving and something really shocked you or something you've gotten bad news, pull over, go out, walk, breathe, try to calm down and try to think it through. But generally what I would do is just to overall, if you find that you get into those anxiety space, sometimes people will wake up with anxiety at night.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just afraid, just a lot of life events are going on and so they have anxiety and they can't properly sleep. So as a practitioner, I'll always have to know a lot more about the individual than just give them general recommendation. So let's say you came to my practice and you were experiencing a lot of stress because of something that's going on at home. I would take a look at all of your lifestyle. We'll take a look at everything you're consuming, the environment you're living in, the stress that you're going through at home, and then I'll give you very specific recommendations. That will definitely involve foods and nutrients that will be helping you and taking out foods that will cause more oxidative stress, more inflammation. Like a lot of people, we know there are foods like breads and other things that cause more inflammation. So you always take away foods that cause more stress and inflammation. You always add things that are helping. And then of course then you can help clients with nutritional supplements. So whether it's something that I can help temporarily, I can advise my clients to get, maybe some magnesium, maybe some melatonin, maybe some incredible herbs and things that are balancing their hormones and their ability to sleep better. Maybe give them a really good spectrum multivitamin that's going to help them, deal with all that stress and provide a really good B vitamin complex. So they are stronger at dealing with whatever they're dealing with. Because sometimes you can't take away the problem.
Of course.
But you can help a person dealing with the problem in a more aware state. So I would definitely but I would definitely recommend different elements in helping person be at their best so they can they can be more successful.
And of course, as you said, it is to be on an individual basis, but generally, your mentally how you react to something, and if you change your eating habits, that can help you out during this phase.
And make sure that you still step out and if let's say people have a lot of stress in their work, what happens? They forget about their time with their family. They forget the time for prayer, for meditation. They forget the time for exercise. This is as a no-no. You still want to make sure, you still want to be calm and mindful of the fact that you have to find that time because that little 15-minute workout, that little half an hour, centering time with yourself and understanding what kind of lessons you're learning and what's going on in your life is going to help dramatically.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
आज एंटोनिना ने दस्सिया कि एंग्जाइटी जो है ये ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਫੇਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਨਾਲ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਮੈਂਟਲ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹਰ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਦੀ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੰਘ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੇ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੀ, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਸਟੈਂਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਕਰਨਾ, ਓਵਰ ਰਿਐਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਪਰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਸ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ 'ਤੇ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਨਿਰਭਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਾਈਟ ਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲਾਈਟ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ, ਮੈਡੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲੈਣੀ, ਵਾਕ 'ਤੇ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਣਾ, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਪਰ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਟਲੀ ਡਾਈਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਰੋਲ ਪਲੇ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡਾ ਡਾਈਜੈਸਟਿਵ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਜੇਕਰ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਰਵਾਂਗੇ, ਪਰ ਜੇਕਰ ਡਾਈਜੈਸਟਿਵ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਠੀਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਬਿਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਤਪੰਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਲਾਈਫ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ, ਇੱਕ ਚੰਗੀ ਸੋਚ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ, ਇੱਕ ਚੰਗਾ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਤੇ ਚੰਗਾ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਤੰਦਰੁਸਤ ਰੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ, ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ, ਡਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਸਹੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਖਾਤਮਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।